How did my father manage to take a conversation about my biggest professional promotion and turn it within 4 minutes into a 20-minute story about something he had accomplished decades before I was born? When I was 12 years old, I won a spelling bee at my school, 3rd place. I came home holding a small ribbon that was the color of someone's forgotten ambition and told my father. He nodded, said good, and then spent the next 20 minutes telling me about the time he won a regional debate competition in 1987. I remember standing in the kitchen, still holding my ribbon, nodding, wondering at what specific point the conversation had stopped being mine. I'm 31 now. Some things, I have learned, are simply load-bearing parts of a person's personality. You don't renovate them, you just learn where the cracks are. Last Tuesday, I stopped trying to learn. My name is not important. What is important is that I have worked at the same architecture firm for 6 years, starting as a junior draftsman who is essentially a very expensive pencil, moving slowly, carefully, through every rung of a ladder that did not believe in shortcuts. My boss, a precise, unsentimental woman named Catherine who compliments people roughly twice per calendar year, called me into her office 3 weeks ago and told me I was being promoted to senior project lead. It was the largest title jump the firm had made internally in 4 years. It came with a salary adjustment that made me sit very still in my car afterward and just breathe. I called Priya first. She screamed. I called my best friend Arjun. He screamed louder. Then I called my father, Neil, because he is my father, and because somewhere inside me there is still a 12-year-old boy holding a 3rd place ribbon who wants, more than almost anything, for that man to just once say, "I'm proud of you," and mean it with his whole chest. My father picked up on the second ring. I could hear the television in the background. Some news channel, something about weather. "Dad," I said, "I got promoted, senior project lead. It's a big deal. It's the biggest thing that's happened to me professionally." Silence for 2 seconds. "Senior project lead," he repeated, the way he repeats things when he is processing them through a filter I have never fully understood. "At this firm you're at?" "Yes, the same firm. 6 years, Dad." A pause. "That's good. You know, I remember when I was moving up at Barrett Steel. This would have been 89, maybe 90. Your grandfather had just retired and I was the youngest floor supervisor they had ever appointed. Youngest in the company's history at that point. I looked at the clock on my kitchen wall. I noted the time the way a scientist notes the beginning of an experiment. 7:43 p.m. The pressure was extraordinary," he continued. "I was managing 40 men. 40. And none of them wanted to take orders from someone my age. I had to earn every single inch of that respect. I sat down on my couch. I did not say anything. I have learned that saying anything redirects him only briefly before the current pulls him back. He talked about 1989. He talked about a colleague named Bhaskar who had apparently been threatened by my father's competence. He talked about a project involving industrial pipe fittings with the narrative energy of a man describing the fall of an empire. He talked about a certificate he received, a certificate that his own supervisor had personally handed him in front of the entire floor. At 8:03 p.m., he paused to cough. I looked at the clock again. 20 minutes. I had received 4. "Anyway," he said, settling back into the present like a man returning from a long and satisfying vacation. "What were you saying? Senior lead?" "Project lead," I said. "Senior project lead. Good," he said. "Work hard." He hung up, not cruelly, not deliberately, just completely. I sat with my phone in my hand for a long moment. Then I called Arjun back and told him the whole story, and he laughed so hard he choked. And I laughed too. And somewhere in that laughter was something that wasn't quite grief, but lived in the same neighborhood. "He's never going to change," Arjun said, still catching his breath. "I know," I said. "You still called him though." I didn't answer right away. Outside my window, the city was doing what cities do. Moving, breathing, completely indifferent to any of this. "Yeah," I said finally. "I still called him. Some doors you keep knocking on not because you believe they'll open, but because the act of knocking is the only language you have left for I love you. Even now, even still. My ribbon is in a box somewhere. 3rd place. The color of forgotten ambition. I never threw it away."